Hey guys, Joe here from XFoxGames. Check it out, we got the AKM-47, well, the bigger brother to the AKM-47. If you guys remember, we did a review on that a little while ago, so if you want to check that out, check it out. That is a cool little plinker gel blaster, which I think is awesome. Now, the people over at Anstoy went ahead and sent us this particular blaster because we loved that small one so much. And, you know, for me, coming from my paintball days, you know, paintball is expensive, right? And it hurts. And so I was thinking, you know, a gel blaster, this is going to hurt, and this is going to be a lot of money to shoot. And to be honest, it blew my mind looking at this particular blaster and being able to shoot this thing for hours in my backyard. And, I mean, literally, this right here, yeah, this little blue packet right here has enough rounds in it for me to shoot for, I mean, I could just plink for days. But we're going to get into that. But nonetheless, this is going to be a basically a fully auto gel blaster, which just rocks, all out, flat out rocks. Now, if you guys are curious, again, you guys can check it out here on Amazon. There is a ton of upgrades and things for this that I really want to get into and talk about. And again, they have a lot of, Anstoy has a lot of different blasters. You know, if you're looking for the smaller kind, if you're looking for like more like a Glock, or you're looking for, they got a lot. So just kind of check them out on Amazon, see what they kind of got. Again, this AK, this thing is no joke. I mean, look how big this thing is. Now, this comparison to the smaller version, I mean, is night and day. I'll pull it up here. I mean, you went from a handheld little plinker to a full-bore, full all-out. I mean, this feels like, I don't have an AK in real life, but this feels like the real thing. Now, this is 18 plus, right? You want to make sure you're 18 years or older, but this thing is no joke. It feels great in the hands. It feels like the real thing, and it shoots phenomenal. And I put almost probably like 9,000 rounds through this thing already, just plinking around in my backyard. I could not get enough of it. So let's take a quick look at the actual box itself so you can see the front. Not too bad. When I was looking at the front of this box, I was like, how is that blaster inside that box? I don't understand it. There's just no way. If we turn it over on the back, it just has some information, right? Stuff that you guys want to make sure you follow. When you're using this thing, make sure you guys are using your goggles. Make sure you guys are using this thing safely, right? No animals, nothing like that. Just set up some targets and keep it simple. What's also cool, too, is they have a little thing down there. Support, of course, at Anstoy.com. I'll throw it up here if you guys do have any questions. That is one of the things that I liked about them, is you guys can send them questions, issues, whatever it is, and they reply back. I rarely see that, right, where you send customer service an email and you don't hear anything back. These guys, they reply back with, you know, whatever it is you guys are curious about. Now, inside the box there are a few pieces. Let's take a quick look at that. You have the main body, of course. Well, underneath that, you, of course, have the instructions, which are great, kind of go over everything. Again, the main body. You got the front barrel piece that clicks right in. You have the stock back piece, which is basically just the, you know, kind of the stock to butt up against your shoulder. And, of course, you have your magazine clip down there, which goes into the blaster fairly easy. And all these parts are, you know, basically put together on the blaster to make the whole blaster whole. Now, this is a electronic blaster. There's no cocking it and going, because, you know, you cocking this thing 10,000 times is just not going to fly. This does come with a 7.4 volt, 1500 milliamp LiPo battery and charger. This is awesome because, you know, some companies don't even give you a battery, or you got to go out and buy a LiPo charger separately. This, nope, just USB, throw it in. Super easy to know when it's charging. You got the little red light plus the green indicating, and when it's done, it should be fully green. Mine came about half charged, and I was able to shoot at least about 7,000 rounds through it before I had to throw it on the charger. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, a lot of people do ask, too, about these gel balls. They're like, how many is in there? I believe that's 10,000 in there. I believe that's, quote me if I'm wrong, I think there's 10,000. And you guys, this little packet, I cannot stress enough how crazy this little red packet, or this little blue packet, makes. I mean, it makes so many. You could just sit in your backyard, set up a bunch of targets, and shoot for hours. I was sitting there and just laying a bunch of rounds just at trees and little cardboard cutouts and, you know, all kinds of stuff in my backyard. And these packets are really, really cheap. I mean, super, super cheap. You guys can check out some of them here. I mean, they got a lot. I mean, you get like 50,000 rounds. That is so many rounds to shoot. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. And look, I mean, that's it. It fits in the palm of my hand. I don't have to have massive storage to kind of figure this out. And on the back of the instructions, there's a little thing down there. Hello, if you want a 20,000 gel balls and a free, or I don't know if it says free, but you can email them. And man, 20,000 rounds is a lot of rounds. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it is a lot of rounds. And I like this again because it's not costing me hundreds of dollars every time I want to go out and shoot, something that is paintball-like. I can go out and just grab this bad boy, do 10,000 rounds, and be completely satisfied by shooting this thing in my backyard, and I don't waste 200 rounds or $200 I go playing paintball. So let's take a look at this thing up close. You can see it is a big blaster, a very big blaster. Again, it almost feels like the real deal just by looking at it. Again, its attention to detail is kind of nice. It has a lot of different kind of moldings into it to kind of make you feel like the real thing. So not too bad. The grip, which is awesome here. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit bigger. It is, of course, I feel like for adult hands, right? 18 plus. Even though a little kid could probably, use it if they wanted to with parental supervision, right? But it still feels really good. You got the safe and the auto. It does have a few tactical rails on it. So if you wanted to, put one of your favorite, I don't know, scopes or lights or lasers, whatever you can. You got two on the side up front. You got the bigger, longer one on the top, which does have like an iron sight flip up right there. But to be honest, I never used that. I pretty much just went sideways and shot right down the actual barrel to kind of see where they go. And that was one of the things on the smaller little baby brother here, is this didn't have any tactical rails, so I couldn't put my favorite stuff on there. But I feel like this is the real deal. This is the real deal when it comes to gel blasting. Now, the magazine, the clip up front, has a nice little, really smooth action to kind of release the magazine. And what's cool here is this magazine, if you look at it, there's two little tabs up top, and those two little tabs use power from the battery. And the battery will feed, the electricity down to the bottom, which has kind of this wheel to help move the gel balls that are in there up the kind of little chute, so it's continuous. You don't have to shake this thing. You don't have to tip it upside down. You can pretty much just load it from the back. Boom, close it, put it back in the blaster, and you're going, right? I really like that again because now I don't have to. Basically, I don't have to, wind something with my thumb, kind of like an airsoft, where you got to wind the bottom to put the balls up into the shaft. This, it automatically feeds them and goes. You might get a few skips, but for the most part, it is shooting fine. Now, the instructions are great also. Don't get me wrong on this. The instructions are awesome. Kind of go over what's what on the particular blaster, what's going on. On the back of it, it has some little combinations and combos you can get. And it's like there's accessories. I want that drum accessory. I want it like super bad. So I'm going to look at it and look it up for it after that because I want it like really, really bad, that drum accessory. But still, the instructions are sufficient for you to kind of figure out what's going on. But to be honest, this thing is pretty straightforward. Charge the battery. You throw the battery in here in the back, which is pretty easy. There's really only one way that this battery can fit in or clip in on this little black back plug back there. You throw it in, you put on your safety protection, you put some balls in the hopper, and you're ready to go. Again, this thing is no joke. So let's take a quick view and flip here so you guys can see me shooting this. Now, I'm going to leave the sound on for some of this so you guys can hear. In this first video clip here, I mean, I'm probably, 20 feet away shooting at that cardboard box. And listen, I mean, this thing is hitting it hard. I was getting at least 200 FPS out of this thing, and it is no joke. It is no joke. 200 FPS. That's why I'm saying, you guys, wear your eye protection. Wear protective gear when you're shooting this at anybody, anything. Just be safe. But listen to how hard it is hitting that cardboard. Now, I did switch it up a little bit, and I was shooting the trees behind that, which were probably about 40 feet, somewhere right in there, maybe about 35 feet, which is pretty far, and this thing was just railing those things all day long, right? And hey, let's face it, you have rounds to spare, so I was just going bursting full auto of 10, 3, 5 different shots, and it was just doing it all day long. Now, as I scooted back, yeah, you could shoot, I'm just saying you can get things up to 50 feet, 60 feet away. 50 feet, you can just throw a 10-round burst and you're probably going to hit it. Or, again, just kind of, line up your shot and just take 1 or 2 shots to see if you can lob one over its way. But nonetheless, guys, this thing is so satisfying to shoot. I cannot stress it enough how much fun I had with this particular blaster comparison to, again, the small baby brother, right? This was fun. This was like really fun, but this was super fun. And again, just feeling it in the hands, look at this. It is like ready to go. Just ready to go. All, you know, right, left-handed. It feels really, really good. That's why I like this one so much, because it really represents almost like a life-size replica of the firearm. Again, I don't have one of these, but it feels really good to shoot regardless of the angle that you're at, right? So, I mean, you guys, look, I'm always excited when it comes to blasters. Don't get me wrong, but you know, when you could replace a hobby that I played like paintball for so long with a sport or a blaster that mimics that but saves me so much money, I'm gonna do it. This blaster, is gonna save me so much money, because I can just sit in my backyard, with massive rounds of these balls and not have to worry about spending $200 every time I want to go play. Now these balls, I put them inside, a little bowl, put some water in there. You gotta let it sit for about 4 hours or so, but you can tell when they're about done. And man, one of these packets, you and a buddy just sit there and plank off the back porch, right? It's super hot summer day, you don't want to go running around. Get 2 of these packets, you guys can shoot off your back porch all day long and just relax in the shade and not spend a ton of money on these balls. So these are super easy to do. Again, nothing too crazy about them. But overall, guys, you know what? Go out and pick up one of these. You are not gonna be disappointed by any means. They do have an M4 version of this, I believe, that I really want to get. So maybe I might order that thing up, because I want more bigger life-size ones. Now again, these aren't bad. These are cool. These are very, very cool. But when you step it up to this, this is crazy. The only thing that I would say about this is it has a little bit of weight to it. It's all going to be here in the back. The front of this it's not too heavy. In the back, I ended up opening up this back stock, and there were some weights in there again to probably help a little bit with the recoil. There's not a ton of recoil, right? But help you with the recoil, but also give it that lifelike heaviness. I ended up just taking both of those weights out, and now it's a little bit more manageable, right? It's really light. I can just move it all around. But maybe some people might like those weights in the back there. Again, I just ended up taking it out. Nonetheless, guys, I say, look, if you could pick this thing up, pick it up. You are not going to be disappointed. And I'm kind of pumped to see what else Anstoy has to kind of come out with, the different blasters. Again, I really want the M4, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am always kind of curious. Thanks again, Fox fans.